This is a small video as a continuation of this flip-flop setup and hold time of the previous video. So this is a D flip-flop and the clock is a rising edge. So I will draw again so this one is the clock wave shape and this is the D, and the flip-flop setup time is this period is the forbidden zone, we can say. So the input cannot change within this region. So in this region the input cannot change, that's the thing. Now this part, which is the red dash one, this whole part is called the setup time. That means the clock edge is the blue one here, like that one or that one. So before the clock changes for a certain time within this boundary, the input cannot change. So this is called setup time, and after the clock changes the input cannot change within a certain time, that is called hold time. So this is the hold time and this one is the setup time. So that's one is before the clock changes, other is after the clock changes. Now in this wave shape, this is a valid input D, the D is a valid, and we can see that the D level changes after the hold time. So hold time finishes here and D changes here. So of course the change of input is not within the hold time, or say for this part we can see that the input changes here. So this is the setup time again. So here it is after the hold time and here this is before the setup time. So this is also valid. The input changes here but setup time just before the setup time. So setup time boundary is here and this is the clock edge. So for both case these change are valid. This is valid, both the changes are valid, we can see that. So now let's look at another one. This is again, I can see this is the region which is the, of course this one is the setup time, and we can see if we look at this one actually has the input has changed here, that is within the setup time. So this input level here is not valid. This input will not be valid because this input changes within the setup time. So the flip-flop cannot take the input either as a low or as a high, so the output will go into undefined state since this occurs within the setup time. And again for this clock edge, which is of course the green one, here the clock edge was this one and here this one because it's a rising edge clock. Now here again we can see this is the region that is the hold time. So yeah, if I use different color, maybe this one, this is the hold time of course. So this is the forbidden region, and within this forbidden region here also the input changes. So it goes from 0 to high within the hold time. So this one is also an invalid input because the flip-flop can't read it either as a low or a high. So both these changes are making this input invalid. However, this one is fine because here the clock is coming. This one means this one. Here the clock is coming. So the input is not changing within the setup time or hold time. So this is a valid input and the flip-flop will react it accordingly. It will go to high because this is a high level and it's a D flip-flop of course. So this is the clock and this is D. But these two changes, this clock and this clock, it will go into this one and this one. This will go into undefined state as the change occurs within the hold time or within the setup time. So yeah.